Now, a Clare-based group of musicians and fundraisers is appealing for public support for Babies in the Bush Orphanage in South Africa, with a fundraising target of €1,500 to help provide new beds for the facility. Breda McNamara, Gearóid McNamara and colleagues working alongside organiser Lorraine Keenan have been involved with the project since 2019 and remain closely connected with its work. And following a recent return visit, they're encouraging donations and shares of the appeal. And I'm delighted to be joined by the trip's organiser and chairperson of Cnoc Cultural Centre in Tulla, Breda McNamara, is on the line, and the Tulla musician Gearóid McNamara is in studio with me. And thanks very much to both of you for being with me. And Breda, can you tell us a bit more about the fundraising appeal that you're running and how you all came together to become involved with this orphanage?
Good morning, Alan, and thanks very much for reaching out to us. We were delighted to get the opportunity, and I suppose so. The main link here, I suppose, is Lorraine Keenan. So she's a Dublin woman who has lived in South Africa for 50 years, and she's very involved with the Irish South Africa Association. And she's also involved with fundraising for this group, the Babies in the Bush. And she reaches out, she makes it her business to anybody from Ireland that comes to South Africa under any kind of a premise that she makes contact with them. So in 2019, we took a group from Cnoc to South Africa for St. Patrick's Week celebrations, which we've been doing for years. We've gone to China and all over the world, with the groups. And so Lorraine reached out for us to come to the Babies in the Bush outside Pretoria, and we stayed there for 2 nights and 2 days, and it had such an impact on us, really, and particularly the musicians in the group like to see what they're trying to do out there for disadvantaged children. So at that time we did a few bits of painting out there, but we really made a decision that we were going to try and help them out. And I will let Gearóid talk to you about the CD, because that's with himself and Fergus Bogue. But I suppose we built this relationship, and it has been going on since. And then COVID kept us at home for 3 years, and then we went back, and I suppose the difference we saw in the setup there, people have a vision of an orphanage as being a kind of a building where you have a load of children and beds together and everything, but this is in a farm out in a game reserve in a place called Cnoc, about 45 minutes from Pretoria. And it's this amazing woman, Lisa, who was a preschool teacher, and she saw a situation with children who were abandoned on the side of the street and children who were abandoned in hospitals, just little babies with nobody to care for them, and even children in families where the families weren't able to support their children. And she started, just taking children in and minding them and trying to get care for them, and medical care and just nourishment and clothes and whatever. And in 2015 they started up this Babies in the Bush. So it's the Butterfly Farm, and it really is Butterfly for Change to make opportunities for disadvantaged babies. And it is from that this whole thing has grown. They take in children, and some children are, go back to their families. It's just the families can't cope with small babies sometimes, mothers sick and different things. Yeah. And so they started, and then we got involved and we got a bit taken by it, and then we went back to Africa again. This time we just we saw that they've made huge changes and huge improvements, and these children are living right outside the fence from a wild, game reserve where there are animals just, you can see the wild animals out in their own environment, and they have big open fields and play areas, and it's such a fabulous way that it's done.
It sounds like an unbelievable facility and providing such an integral service. And Gearóid, Breda mentioned, you're covering the music side of things. You travelled as a musician, you performed in South Africa. Talk to us about that experience and the CD as well. That's going to help.
Yeah, back in 2019, I suppose a group of us went out, and we had a great few days in the orphanage, and we painted walls and played some music and played with the kids, and it was really lovely. And I was making a CD with Fergus Bogue anyway. He was an accordion player for Cavan, like the West Wind will know him, and anyone in traditional music will know him. And he was with our Cayley band at the time. And then I think we had the CD kind of pretty much made. And then he decided to give all the proceeds to the orphanage, and I think it was definitely over €7,000 anyway. Sure, that money went an awful long way out there. So they were able to build a fence all around the orphanage, I think, as Mam said, to stop the wild animals coming in. And it was lovely to go back so many years later and see the development that it happens. So yeah, it was a lovely thing to do, and it was credit to Fergus Bogue really for deciding to do that, because it was really his CD. I was just accompanying him on it.
And this is the CD Dira Congree, which has helped fund a playground for the children.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I'd say it's still on sale online. I'd say Custys and Ennis will definitely have it anyway if people want to buy that. Or you can also we have the link on Facebook as well, and on our own Facebook page. The fundraisers on Cnoc Facebook page or website, you can click into it to try to donate as well if you'd like. But at least with the CD, you're getting a bit of music as well.
Yeah, and sure, we all have a bit of music, don't we? Breda, the fundraiser, as I mentioned at the outset, you're hoping to raise €1,500, which you would imagine you'd be hopeful that people will dig deep into the pockets to help out with. What kind of response have you been receiving from people in Clare since launching the appeal? And Gearóid has mentioned how people can contribute to it, but are you hopeful of reaching that target?
Oh yeah, we hope to reach it, and we'd love to exceed it. I mean, the thing is that a small amount of money goes a very long way out there, and they're looking for 30,000 rand, which is about €1,500, to get beds for volunteers, because it's all voluntary work out there. Now they do get some subsidy from the government, for the basics like you'd have to, for the running costs of the orphanage and that. But a lot of the everybody out there works in a voluntary capacity, so they want to try and be able to accommodate more volunteers. A lot of students from Europe go out there, a lot of Germans and different nationalities go out there for their summer when they're off college, and some people take a year out of college and they go out there because they're so impressed with what's going on. So we have a link up on our Cnoc page, and people have come to my house with donations, would you believe? And people have phoned me to say they wanted to leave envelopes in the door of Cnoc, and if they do that, then we put it into the Cnoc account and we transfer it to the I Donate. So you can go on the link. Now, I would say it's a very important thing if you go on the link when you get to the donate button. There's two currencies on it. One is ZAR or Rand, which is the South African currency, and the other one is the US dollars. And you need to click the down arrow for the US dollars, because if you donate 50 Rand, that's about €2.60. So people sometimes think they're donating €50, but it's 50 Rand. So just to click the down button for US dollars, and that then if you give $50 or 20 or 10 or 5 or whatever people can, any donation is very, very welcome. And I suppose if people go on the website Butterfly for Change for Children, and they will see these children in this absolutely fantastic big wide open space, and the baby house, it's called, not even an orphanage, they call it the baby house, and they have live-in house mothers in there to mind those babies, and they bring them out to school in the township, and if you see them, really they're such a happy life, the children.
It sounds lovely, and important to highlight that you go for the dollars, not for the rand, if you really want to make a big difference, although every little bit helps, although it will be a little bit if you choose the rand option. My thanks to Breda McNamara and to the son part of the mother-son combo here, Gearóid. Thank you very much as well, and fair play to the both of you and everyone else involved in helping the Babies in the Bush Orphanage for joining us on Morning Folk.